All right, so obviously our trade from last night for me did not end up working out. I wanted to see those shorts come in last night. I don't know what happened to my thing. So I ended up, I don't know, I think I accidentally deleted my tool, but I wanted to see those shorts come in. Had a good entry, ended up, you know, hitting like 55 ticks on the first initial drop, and then we ended up pumping through and taking out our highs. So I got stopped out. I still really like that trade setup. It looked good to me. It just didn't end up working out in my favor. We can see that we had that crazy pump here, taking out those highs. But let's go to a daily time frame. Let's start out on our daily time frame over here on NQ. We can see over here we have our previous day high that we've already taken out. We have all-time highs up top again that we're already pretty close to. We can see this pump initially at market open right now. And then a previous day low down here, it's 18,680. 18,680. So right now we're looking very bullish on a daily time frame. We can see that we came down into this right a few days ago. We came down into this daily imbalance down here, and we bounced off of it pretty good, and we came and took out all-time highs right here. Okay, we can see us touch down into it again, bounce again. So let's go down to a 4-hour time frame. All right, we can see that same thing on the 4-hour. We barely tapped into this 4-hour imbalance over here. Pump, take out the highs, displacement of the highs. Right now, we are on the 4-hour, we're pretty bearish, but we're in that 4-hour bullish order block. We're going to see how well if we're going to bounce off that order block, if we're really going to head down and try to rebalance some of this market. Okay, going down to a 1-hour. Let me close out this one right here. Got that one real quick. All right, so on a 1-hour time frame, we can see that we came up into this 1-hour above. And obviously we got that strong reaction off of it when we had news come out this morning. But so far, respecting that 1-hour bearish fair value gap there, bearish, right? So 1-hour SIBI right there. Okay, so we're seeing that reaction off of that level. On the 1-hour, okay, let's go down to a 30-minute. Look at the 30-minute. We can see we created this BPR up here on a lot of time frames on the hourly, on the 30-minute. Right, balanced price range, 2 equal fair value gaps here. We trade up into it. We see that bounce right here at market open, kind of dropping pretty aggressively. Okay, so looking at our Asia session, let's look at our Asia session real quick. So I have my Asia low already charted out. That's down here at 18,885. 18,885 is that Asia low. And then we can see we created our Asia high kind of up here, 11:45 p.m. That was our Asia high. Okay, we obviously took out that Asia high, and then we continued to pump during London session, with all the way up here, which this is where our London high up top at 4:45 a.m. London high, we sweep that London high barely, and then we drop at that news. Okay, so we saw that really aggressive drop, rebalancing all of this imbalance. Okay, and our London low is down here at 2 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, actually at 2 a.m. down here. That's our London low that we can see we already kind of swept. We already swept that London low liquidity. We have not displaced that London low. So we're kind of sitting in this range just above London low. It looks right now like we're trying to come down and target our Asia low after seeing us push up into that BPR above. And then start to drop a little bit, taking out London low. I would expect us to possibly come down and try to sweep that Asia low for some liquidity. Kind of what I'm looking at right now. Okay, we see us sweep this buy side liquidity internal up here and then come back down on the 5-minute. So right now I'm expecting us to try to come down and sweep that Asia low liquidity. And then see if we're going to get a strong displacement and continuation to the downside, or if we're just going to actually sweep and come right back up. Okay, if we look at a 1-minute time frame, see this little power of 3 setup we're having here. We accumulate, we manipulate up, grab all that buy side up here, and now we're dropping. We're trying to displace these lows. Looks like we're trying to push down to our Asia low, like I was saying. Okay, so right now I'm kind of looking at that, trying to see if price is going to come down and sweep that Asia low. Okay, we can look over here on ES at a 15-minute as well. We have that same Asia low here, same Asia high up here at 11:45. And get rid of that one real quick. Okay, I'm going to look at our London high and low over here. So our London low is same time at 2 a.m. over there on ES. Okay, we can see we already took out that London low. We actually displaced that London low already. And then we got that London high up top at 4:45. We got actually SMT at the highs during London session. Okay, so look at us going down, targeting that Asia low right now. That's something we got to really look out for. What I was expecting to happen here, for us to come down and sweep that. We're getting pretty close here. So what we do have in terms of news is we have our consumer confidence coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got that in about 30 or 24 minutes. 24 minutes. That's a red folder news event, so we're going to definitely see an impact on our market from that news event. So we got to keep an eye out on that. And then after that, we don't have news until 1:05 p.m. Eastern, and that's just our FOMC, 2 FOMC members speaking. That's kind of the only news we have coming up. We already had a few different releases before, as we can see. We saw that dump in the market from our news earlier. Okay, so right now we're looking pretty bearish, looking like we're trying to head down and take out that Asia low. So what I'd be looking for is we see that 1 minute displacement. You know, we'll see. We might be able to get involved in this off this 1 minute order block if we trade back up into it. Let's just see what our risk to reward would look like in this scenario. See if it would be worth it for us. Okay, so only about 82 ticks for reward there. If we were to get an entry right off that order block. And, you know, we'd probably want to keep it around 40 ticks or so. So we could get that 2-to-1 risk to reward on a short setup. So right now our risk to reward is not great. We might want to just wait for us to sweep that Asia low and then see what kind of reaction we get in our market after we get that sweep. Because here's another entry we could be looking for. Is off this 1 minute fair value gap down to the shorts. You know, you get that entry off this 1 minute right here. Right, this could be a good entry, but at the same time, if we got an entry here, we're not looking at a ton of reward on this one. We're looking more like, you know, 63 ticks of reward for wanting to keep our stop up higher. Yeah, I mean, you could still keep a 2-to-1, have like a 30 tick stop above that high. But I'm not really looking for that small of a reward on this trade. And we could obviously push lower to some other lows, but since we're already so close down here, I'm not really looking to enter. Obviously, if you got that entry, that I just talked about, you'd be, you know, so far that trade would look pretty good. Let's look at some of our external liquidity levels as well, just to keep an eye out to see if price does keep dropping, what is it going to target? We can see down here we've got that external low on the hourly time frame. Okay, so that's another target if price was going to keep dropping into this hourly fair value gap. And then obviously our previous day low would be a big external liquidity level. But we just really have to wait and see how are we going to react once we do take out that liquidity. If we do take out that liquidity, right? What kind of reaction are we going to get off that level if we take it out? Yeah, so external liquidity is going to be our higher time frame. So like when we look at an hourly or a 4-hour or daily, it's those ranges, right? So it's like right here, this high to this low, these are external liquidity levels. So this low down here is external. This high up here would have been external. We swept that external, and now we're heading down. So typically when we see a sweep an external liquidity level, that's a strong indication that price is going to reverse once we sweep that liquidity level. Obviously, when we see displacement, we don't typically want to see it come back down, but we did have news which caused an impact in our market to take us back down. So that's when it's different, especially as well because we were in a higher time frame bearish fair value gap. But yeah, those external levels are going to be like on a weekly, a daily, a 4 hour, a 1 hour time frame, those highs and lows, those are our external levels. And then our internal levels are going to be those ranges inside. Our internal levels are going to be those highs and lows, those ranges inside of those external, right? So like Asia low here, that's going to be an internal level for us. These lows down here are going to be an internal level for us, and so forth, right? That's that external low. All of the stuff inside of that is our internal. Okay, so we're still trying to head back down, and it looks like we're trying to go down and sweep that liquidity. See what happens here. Yeah, I mean that could have been another sell opportunity up here. I did not get an entry up here, but that could have been another entry opportunity up top to get in the shorts off that 1 minute order block that I charted out. See that 1 minute right here? Let me share my charts with you guys as well. Let me send those out to you just in case you want to check out the charts. There's mine. So we had this morning, in terms of news, we had our CS Composite 20 HPI year over year. Okay, and then we had our HPI month over month. Our HPI came out pretty low. Those are only orange and yellow folder. We can see we still had a strong impact in our market, but the real news is coming up that consumer confidence is going to be the one that really shows an impact on the market. So we're going to see a lot of probably a lot of volatility from that news coming up pretty soon. Again, if you wanted to get an entry off this order block, like I said, so far it looks like a pretty good entry. I did not get any entries just yet. I like to give the market a little bit of time. I like to at least give it 15 minutes typically before I take a trade, just to kind of figure out a direction in the market. But it really does look like we're trying to go target that Asia low. We'll see what ES is doing over here. Yes, on a 5 minute. ES is very choppy on a 5 minute time frame. Just in general, ES is very choppy right now. Kind of sitting in this range on the 5 and the 15 minute, not doing too much. Yeah, we do have news at 10. I'll probably be waiting until the news comes out to take a trade. Unless we see something very clear before the news comes out. Till then, I'm going to be waiting. Probably wait until the news comes out before we hop into trade. Again, I still called out this one here. Obviously, you could have taken that fair value gap entry. It didn't work out. But still, this order block up here. That's why I called it out, just in case anybody wanted to take that short from up in this order block. So far, it looks pretty good. We're not doing too much, but we've seen that reaction off of it. I mean, if you got any kind of entry up here, you would have seen pretty good reward so far. So I obviously didn't take it myself, but I wanted to call that out just in case anybody else wanted to take it. And look what it's doing right now. We're almost taking out that Asia low. Look at that. All right, so if you are in that position, I'd be looking to probably scale out of, at least half of my position at Asia low. Maybe the whole thing. Just depends on what you want to do. All right, but look at how that's worked out so far. Pretty nice setup so far that we've seen off that 1 minute order block. All right, so yeah, if you did take that position, what you could do is obviously sell some of your position at Asia low, that key liquidity level. Move your stop to break even, move it into profit, and you could leave some runners until maybe we come down and try to target this external low down here, right? These external lows. I mean, we're still dropping pretty aggressively, so you can still look for, you can still look to hold this position in those shorts. If anybody did take that trade, I don't know, did anybody hop in those shorts or not? I don't know if anybody did. Okay, there we go. I mean, look at us dropping. So far, I mean, our analysis is on point, right? We had that 1 minute order block, right? We came in saying we'd bounce off that level. We see that bounce, we take out Asia low, and now we're seeing that continued drop. And look at the 15 minute. That's some strong 15 minute displacement there. Looks like we're trying to go target some external sell side liquidity at this low down below. So it's been a pretty nice drop. You know, no FOMO. No FOMO. Remember, I still like to give the market some time. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a nice trade to be a part of. Well, I'm not upset. Still got all day ahead of us to look for setups. So you can't get upset about the ones that you don't take, especially when, you know, I called it out and I still said it. You know, I'm not really willing to take this one just yet. You can't be upset if that's what your mindset was going into the trade and you didn't take it and then it works out in your favor. Oh well. You know, you gotta be happy that your analysis was on point, and then you move on to the next trade. Okay, obviously, if you did take this trade, you'd be looking at over 200 ticks right now. Pretty nice setup there. Pretty nice setup. Looks like we're targeting that external low that we charted out. Look at the hourly time frame. That's the external low I was talking about down here. We're going for that one right now. We can see the hourly imbalance, 4-hour imbalance down here. All right, so we've got that 4-hour busy right here. All right, so we're almost at that that external low. I wasn't expecting us to target the external low until probably after the news, but we've really accelerated. We've really gotten some movement in this market so far. Looks like we're going for it already. So now what I'm expecting is, okay, if we take out this external low and we trade into this 4-hour bullish fair value gap, we might see a strong reaction back to the upside, right? We have this actually a balanced price range down here. Remember, like I said, when we take out external lows or highs, we expect some kind of reversal, especially leading into our silver bullet hour, right? I'd be looking for us to reverse back to the upside once we take out this external low. One other thing we have to be aware of is we did form this hourly bearish breaker block. We can see this high, low, higher, high, displacement of the low as long as this hourly candle closes below this low here, right? This would be that bearish breaker on the 1 hour with this lowest down close candle being that breaker block. Okay, so that's something else to look out for. So we could look to, you know, see that liquidity sweep down here, maybe try to get in the longs back up to that Asia low level, to that breaker. You know, it just depends what price is doing leading closer to that news release, because we always want to be careful around news. Remember, I'm not going to be hopping into a trade when news is released, but if I'm in a trade already that's well into profit, I will hold through the news depending on, you know, depending on what that news is. Um, is Chris the only one that hopped into these shorts? Nobody else hopped into the shorts? Chris, are you still holding this? Are you still holding this position? Been a pretty nice drop so far. Now, this is what I wanted to see happen. This is what I wanted to see happen last night. I wanted to see us do this last night. But we just kind of took a while for that to happen. We wanted to go take out that buy side first. Right, so this was my plan last night. I really wanted to see us drop from here. Maybe take out our Asia high and then drop. We saw that pump first, taking out those highs. Obviously, we didn't get it last night, but we still had our idea. I knew that Asia low was going to get taken out at some point. Yeah, that's kind of my idea right now, is just waiting for that news. Waiting for that news to be released. I do want to see what we're going to do. If we're going to come down and sweep this external liquidity, I do believe we're going to sweep that external liquidity down below. We can see ES took out that Asia low as well. This is that same low down here on ES that I'm talking about on NQ, so we're pretty far away from it on ES. Right, so I mean, you could be looking for, if you wanted to scalp, right? You could be looking for other entries off these 1 minute fair value gaps above, right? Back in the shorts, trying to target the low. Again, that's not necessarily what I'm looking to do. Not really necessarily what I'm looking to do right now, especially when we're 10 minutes away from news. We do have a lot of SMT at the lows. Obviously, ES has not even targeted these lows down here, while NQ has swept them completely. All right, we can see these lows here. That's whole same level that we've taken out on NQ. ES has not taken those out yet. All right, so you could be looking to take short entries off these 1 minute fair value gaps. Not necessarily loving those entries. But if you do have that conviction that we're going to go down and take out that external low down here, touch into that 4 hour busy, right, that's when you would be looking for these entries up top. You know, in this 1 minute fair value gap here, maybe the 1 minute above. Maybe we just wait, maybe you just want to wait until that news is released before getting an entry. That's kind of where my head's at right now. I really want to be patient and make sure we're getting that solid A+ entry, A+ setup. Sometimes news will kind of go crazy, or price will kind of go crazy leading into a red folder news event. Sometimes it's best just to kind of wait for that to come out. Obviously, like I said, I'm giving you that opportunity. I'm telling you, a good entry point would be off this 1 minute fair value gap, or maybe that one above, to try to short down to that external low. I'm not going to hop into it just yet, but you can see that it's, we're seeing that reaction off that 1 minute fair value gap already. Right, so I'm still trying to give you guys these trade opportunities, even if I'm not taking them personally. You can see that they're, so far, both trades that I've called out have been working out pretty well. Right, if you would have taken it off the bottom of that fair value gap, you would have already caught 50 ticks. You would have already caught 51 ticks on that, Obviously hasn't worked out too good after that, but still could have been a scalp. There's a pretty strong bounce there on the 1 minute. Right, we have this 5 minute fair value gap above. Price could be targeting up top. This is why I'm just waiting until that news is released. Just give us some extra confirmation. Let the market pick a direction before we get involved. Yeah, 15 minute doesn't look great. That's a pretty long wick back up on the 15, especially getting SMT at the lows. All right, that is a pretty long wick there. But again, we still have that target. I do think price will try to go target that low at some point, whether that's right now or that's after the news is released. I do want to see us go target that low, and then possibly see us get that reversal back up after that. That's kind of what I'm waiting for at this moment. Not really looking to rush into a trade. We got 6 minutes until news is released. I'm good with waiting. Remember, guys, we've got all day. We've got all day. We've got all week. We'll still be looking for good setups. We don't have to force 5-10 trades within the first 30 minutes of market open on our first day, right? I know the urge is to wanting to, to really want to trade because we've had a long weekend. There hasn't, we haven't traded for a while. I know that's the urge. That's the first instinct is to just hop in and take as many trades as we can, take every little setup that we see. But for me, when I get that urge and I get that feeling, that's when I really got to take a step back and just really focus on being conservative, being patient, understanding that this is just the first 30 minutes of our market open. We've got a whole day ahead of us, and we've got a few more days ahead of us in this week. So there's no need for me to rush or to force any trades into this market just yet. Now, obviously, that first trade that I talked about so far has looked pretty good. Pretty nice drop from that level. Yeah, and guys, it's hard not to get FOMO, especially when you see the setup and you don't take it, and then it does this. You're like, if only I would have clicked sell, right? And that's just one of the worst mindsets to get into, because then you're going to start taking all the little setups because you don't want to get FOMO. And that's when you start taking those bad setups, when you start thinking things are there but they're not really there. Okay, so it's okay to tape read and just to call out a trade, think, okay, this is a trade that I might take. It looks pretty good, but right now I kind of want to just sit out. I don't really want to put risk into the market just yet. And then you see that happen, you can just be happy that you had the right idea, that you knew price was going to go target, or you had a strong inclination that price was going to go target that Asia low, and it happened. And now you can sit back and be like, nice, okay, I got that one. I know I didn't trade it, but now the next time I see something like that, I'm going to be ready to hop in that trade. Right? So that's my mindset whenever I call out these trades but don't take them. It's not FOMO, but it's just kind of celebrating that little win of knowing that your analysis is there, knowing you're getting your analysis correct, right? You're just gaining that confidence in the market. You're gaining that confidence in your strategy. Every time you're able to find these trades, and it's also creating discipline in yourself to know that if it's, not a trade that you necessarily want to hop into just yet, you want to wait for news, then you can be satisfied that, content that you were able to not take the trade, even though maybe you wanted to. That's also a big win, being able to not take the trade every single time. All right, so we've got news coming out in 3 minutes, heading into that silver bullet hour, heading into that new hour, right? That 10 o'clock Eastern hour. So that 10 to 11 Eastern that's our first silver bullet hour. And then remember that 2 to 3 Eastern, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern is that next silver bullet hour. Okay, so typically what I'm looking for during silver bullet is for us to target maybe an external low, like this one below, and then reverse and go target our highs and use those 1 minute fair value gaps as entries. Or maybe we're going to come up and we're going to target some highs first, and then we're going to finally come down and target that external low. I really want to see us target that external low first. Yeah, we do have big SMT divergence here. Yes, took out these lows. NQ is not taking out the low. And now we see NQ taking out the high, and ES still sitting down here at the low. A lot of SMT, right? I'm obviously not going to jump into a trade right now. We only have 2 minutes until news is released. I'm going to wait for that news to come out, see what kind of impact it has on the market, and then start looking for trade setups after that. Let's look at the VIX. Oh yeah, VIX is pumping here. DXY is pumping as well. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of pump in our VIX and DXY. Remember, we're looking at those two indexes to see. We want those to be opposite of NQ and ES, right? So when we see the VIX pumping, we would expect NQ to be dumping, right? When we see DXY pumping, we'd expect NQ to be dumping. So right now, both of those are pumping, so we would expect NQ to head down, right? But we do have news, so that kind of throws out some of our technical analysis. Kind of throws it out the window. All right, so we got that news coming out in about 30 seconds here. Let's see what it does. Let's see what kind of impact we see in our market. We'll watch it. We'll wait. We'll be patient, and we'll look for a setup. Good morning, Anko. How are you doing? All right, guys. Remember, I'm not getting in any trade. We have news coming out right now. I'm not in a trade. I'm not in a trade. Let's see what this does. Let's see what we do. Yep. News just came out very positive. So we might see a nice little pump in the market. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm expecting, is maybe a manipulation to target that external low first. and then we're going to see that pump. My bias overall today, guys, is still bullish. I do want to still see the long step in. Remember, most of our NASDAQ companies are all green. We've already swept that, taken out yesterday's high. Right, I want to see that continuation to the upside, especially after seeing that positive news just come out. Just waiting for that liquidity sweep first, and then we can look to start targeting the longs. Right, just depending on that reaction we get after we sweep liquidity. I just want to see what that reaction is like first. Hey, there we go. Onco, 200 ticks. That's what I'm talking about. Let's look over here at ES. I want to look for that 4-hour. ES doesn't really have the same 4-hour imbalance. It is down here. That 4-hour busy. Yeah, if we do end up taking out that low and then we pump, that would be a unicorn setup, or it would be a bullish breaker and then possibly a unicorn if we end up seeing us have a fair value gap overlapping. So I'm really just waiting for us to sweep that low. We'll be on the 5-minute, 18:15. Yeah, right here. That is a nice 5-minute order block down below. You bounce off that level. I'm really just waiting for us to sweep. I want to see us sweep that low. We might not even sweep it, but I wanted to see us sweep that external low first before I jump into any entries. That would really give me that extra conviction in this trade, you know, to hop in the longs. But we might just start running away. We might not even grab that low, especially after getting SMT divergence. Look at that pump we're seeing. Nice pump so far. Still going to be patient, guys. We can still wait for that A+ setup. A strong 1-minute candle there. Still no displacement, but we're seeing that pump happen now. So this is when I start looking for entries in the longs to start targeting our highs. So now I'm looking for 1-minute fair value gaps, 1-minute order blocks. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see us sweep that external low, but we have strong SMT divergence at the lows here. We might see us go target those highs at this point. Remember, this is that other level I was talking about, is that hourly unicorn here. So we have the hourly bearish unicorn, so we need to see what kind of reaction we get off that unicorn first. Right, this is the hourly unicorn we see. High, low, or not unicorn, sorry, but just a bearish breaker. High, low, higher, high, displacement of the low. We're touching up into that now. So we got to see if we're going to try to push through that. No, they do not have to be the same color. They could all be different colors. They could be green, red, green. It's as long as that 3-candle pattern is formed. And we have like this, right? We have a red here. We have a bearish candle, a bullish candle, a bullish candle. That's a fair value gap left behind right there. Okay, so let's see what kind of reaction we get. So my one thing is we have not taken out that external low just yet. We are touching into an hourly bearish breaker. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious just in case we do want to come back down and target the low first before we get that real pump up to the highs. But again, I'm still willing to test something out if we do come back down into a good level. Now we have that 1-minute fair value gap here. Targeting the highs. I might even start looking for an entry here, guys. All right, I'm going to get a half a lot entry in the longs. I'm going to test it out here. I'm just going to test this one out. I'm willing to put a little risk in the market at this point. Just half a lot, 18,887. My entry ended up being kind of high, but I'm okay with that right now. I'm going to keep a 55 tick stop down below. It's not the best entry. Not the best entry, but I'm willing to give this one a shot just to see if we're going to continue to pump. I'm willing to take a loss with half a lot right now just to test it out, see if we can get involved. 18.87325 will be my stop. Just half a lot, and I know this is a little bit riskier here, guys, because we are touching into that hourly bearish breaker and we haven't swept that external low. But again, this is that silver bullet hour. We touch into the first fair value gap. I want to see if we're going to try to push through the highs at this point. Come up and target these highs up top. And if we don't get that push, well, it's just half a lot. I'm willing to take that loss to try to get involved here. And if we don't pump from here, then I'll be waiting probably for a more retracement to a fair value gap down here, or wait for us to target that external low down below. I'm still in half a lot. I have not added into a full. I've thought about adding into a full, but I have not just yet. All right, we got displacement. We have this 1 minute order block left behind. I'm starting to think about adding into a full here. All right, I'm going to add into a full. My entry. Wow. Okay, so see, that's the issue there. It's just getting a bad entry, and my entry level moving up pretty far, all the way up to 91. So I don't really like that very much. Now I got to keep my stop, down below at these lows at like 50 ticks at 18.87850. So obviously not the best levels here. So we really got to see that pump now. Yeah, so I don't really like this entry, to be honest with you guys. Pretty bad add into that position so far. Pretty bad add. That's okay. Now we got to see that pump right through. Yeah, we got to pump through VWAP. I still like the silver bullet setup. I like that we displaced this 1 minute order block here. I do think we have potential to really pump through these highs. All right, so I'll probably look to take off first TP around 100 ticks at these highs above. If we're stalling too much, I'll just take off first TP around a 1-to-1, around 50 ticks. But we're not seeing that follow through right now. We're getting a strong reaction off this level. Really wanted to see us pump through those highs right now. I'm not loving this 1 minute candle that we just formed. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. We got to see a reaction off this 1 minute order block. If we're going to see those long step in, they really got to start to step in now. Push right through VWAP. At least get us up to these highs. And it's that silver bullet. We're targeting the highs. Remember, you can always look to take a first TP. Let's say we pump to 50 ticks. You could take a 1-to-1. You do not have to hold. I want to take a 2-to-1 for my first TP on this one. But again, we have to be able to adjust our plan throughout the trade just in case we don't get that opportunity. Yep, we are in that 50%. Let's see how this 5 minute closes. 5 minute, I want to see that 5 minute displacement of this bearish fair value gap. I want to see us try to push up through. We'll see what happens here. We're sitting in profit right now. Just a few ticks, not too far. I'm liking the reaction we've got off that 1 minute order block below. Remember, this is that silver bullet setup. This is exactly what I want to see. Reversal down below SMT. Using our 1 minute fair value gaps as support. 1 minute order blocks as support. Pushing us towards our opposing liquidity. So far, we're not seeing that strong push through. We're kind of just chilling around our break even. See if we can get that pump. So I want to take that first TP at 18,916, which would be 100 ticks. Again, I'm not going to be too greedy if we start to see if we start to see a lot of stalling around this level, you know, maybe I'll just move my stop to break even, or I'll look to take profit around a 1-to-1. We are at VWAP, so this is gonna take a lot for us to push through, right? You could always move your stop to break even. You don't have to hold. You don't have to hold your stop lower. I'm gonna keep my stop where it's at right now, and just give this one a shot. Give it a chance to push through. I mean, that 5-minute, we saw us displace the 5-minute bearish fair value gap there pretty strong. It's a 15-minute that we really got to push through here. Really got to push through that 15-minute, and obviously that hourly breaker. Let's see if we can push through. Remember, you do not have to hold this trade. And obviously, if you had a better entry than me, you might already be closer to a 1-to-1 here. Remember, my entry was not the best on this trade. Not a great entry on this trade. But we're still sitting in profit right now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can push through VWAP. Remember, this is the risk I'm willing to take. I know the risk. I know that this is a strong resistance level here that we're going to have to push through. But I still like the setup. I'm still willing to give it a chance here. We'll see if we can get that follow through. See if we can push through VWAP. We're obviously struggling right now. Remember, you always have to be willing to put risk into the market if you're going to trade. If you're not willing to put that risk into the market, then you should not be trading. All right, we're seeing that reaction right now. Obviously, I'd like to have a stop loss a little bit wider, but again, if we do come down and take out these lows, I'll probably want to look for a better entry anyways. We're seeing that struggle here. We're definitely seeing a reaction off that VWAP, off that hourly breaker. All right, but the silver bullet setup is still there. I at least want to see us go target some internal buy side. Because we have not targeted any internal buy side yet. We have not taken out any internal buy side. This is what we talked about. I wanted to see us come down and take out the external low down here. We didn't do it, but we did get the SMT divergence at the lows. We saw that reversal come into play. So we'll see if we're going to get that follow through. Obviously, right now, it's not looking too great. Not looking too great right now. But the risk I was willing to take. Now we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. 15-minute is closing pretty soon. We are seeing a reaction off that 15-minute imbalance pretty strong. Oh, we're getting pretty close to my stop down low. Got pretty close to my stop there. Pretty close. Did not take it out. I'm not liking what I'm seeing so far. About to get stopped. Man, that was within a tick or two there. Looks like we're going to get stopped here. Pretty close. Playing with my emotions here. Oh my gosh. And it's definitely, I mean, if it doesn't stop me out here, that'd be crazy. Looks like we're trying to really target my stop here. Within a few ticks of my stop so far. Didn't get stopped out. Pretty surprised that we haven't gotten stopped out yet. I mean, if we're going to drop all the way this low, I would expect us to at least take out this. We might take out this low here. Yeah, so we're seeing that reaction off that hourly bearish breaker. Okay, so now I'm stopped. Now I'm out. Let's look at our hourly. Okay, so we did see that reaction off the hourly bearish breaker so far. And off that 15-minute imbalance. Okay, so we're seeing a reaction. So now I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be a little more patient now. We did just touch into that 5-minute fair value gap down below. Let's see if we do want to go target that external sell side first, or if we're still gonna get that pump. I mean, it's still silver bullet. I still want to see us get that pump. My bias is still long. It's just about getting the right entry at this point. Got to dial in the next entry. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I had conviction in that setup. I know we had a lot of levels that we had to push through, so it was a harder trade to get through, right? Maybe a little bit riskier, but I was willing to take that risk on that one. I was willing to take that risk. I mean, the silver bullet setup was there. I just didn't get the best entry. Now we'll see if we're gonna get that continuation or if we're actually gonna. Right, if we do drop, I would expect us to target this low. Obviously, the one that I've been talking about a lot lately, the external sell side. We still haven't broken structure to the downside. We just kind of came down and swept the low here. Not necessarily looking for a re-entry just yet. We do see that strong reaction off the hourly bearish breaker up here. Yeah, at this point I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Give it a little bit more time, be patient, wait for a good setup. Wait for a good setup here. Price is just kind of stalling. Waiting to see, are we going to actually go target those highs? Or are we going to take out that external low first? Overall, guys, I still want to see these longs come in. That is still my bias. But now I really got to dial in the entry. Okay, we're seeing that bounce off the 5-minute fair value gap below that 5-minute order block forming. The one thing there's two things keeping me from wanting to jump back into an entry just yet. That's that 15-minute time frame reacting off the 15-minute bearish imbalance. And that's the hourly time frame reacting off that hourly bearish breaker. Those are the two things that are keeping me from wanting to jump right into a re-entry. But again, we're still in that silver bullet hour, so I could still see these longs, especially after grabbing that liquidity here. I could still see these longs really stepping in. All right, looking them go right now. Pretty strong 1-minute candle there. Pretty strong 1-minute candle. We'll see if it does want to come up and displace this high here. Form that 1-minute bullish breaker. Target these highs up top. You definitely see that. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to see happen before. I didn't get the best entry on the first one. We obviously wanted to manipulate, come back down, grab my liquidity, and then head up. They saw my liquidity and they're like, you know what? Let's go grab Trader Joe's stop loss and then let's pump. We'll see. I mean, we're kind of just bouncing off level to level, buy side, sell side. Market's chopping. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Not in a rush to get any re-entry just yet. Okay, 1-minute fair value gap formed underneath a 1-minute order block. Right here. I typically like these as entries in the longs, but we haven't gotten displacement of the highs. So I don't love the setup. Really just got to break through VWAP. I want to see us close above VWAP. I want to see us close above these highs. Let's see that displacement move to the upside. It would have been very ideal for us to sweep that low down below first. That would give us that extra conviction just to know that we already took out the external level. And now we're definitely going to go back and target those highs, which I still think we're going to do. But that always gives me that extra confidence when we take out the external level and then we reverse, that's going to be actually a strong reverse move during Silver Bullet, and we're going to really go target those, that opposing liquidity. And since we didn't do that, I still had a lot of conviction in this trade, but it just didn't give me, I wanted to see it really take out that low. So that's one reason I could see us still going down, is targeting that external low. But right now we're still chopping. Still chopping. Let's see, we're reacting off that 50% level of that imbalance, that 1 minute that I was talking about right here. Yeah, I'm still bullish overall. Still bullish overall. We'll see. We'll see. See what the VIX doing. Okay, VIX and DXY are still heading up right now, so we might see us go target that sell side at this point. We'll see. We're still chopping, guys. We're still sitting in this 1 minute range, but we might see us drop all the way to that sell side, so we might be able to actually look for shorts if we're going to keep seeing a reaction. But right now, I'm not going to take an entry while we're getting all this chop. I'm not going to get an entry while we're chopping like this. I really just want to wait for us to clear out of this. Clear out of this range. Just see if price is like what price wants to do here. We're just kind of sitting in the middle of our levels. We're sitting right in the middle of this range. Right in the middle. So I really want to see price stop chopping and actually get a breakout, get a displacement, set up something good for us. Yeah, the price action right now is not good. Didn't get in at the best time. We kind of got in right when we started to chop. Right, which is never good for our trade. And we didn't know it was going to chop right after we got in, so what are you going to do? So we're going back up to this 1 minute range, back up to the top of the 1 minute range. So when price action is like this, I'm just expecting chop, 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 and then I'm waiting for a displacement, right, where we see a candle close above a high, below a low of the range, and then I'm looking for a setup. You're never going to see me jump into an entry while we're in this choppy consolidation. You're always going to see me waiting for clear direction, waiting for a good setup. Boom, boom. Hey. You're trading while you're operating that tractor right now? Some serious multitasking right there. Impressive work. Okay, can we break out of the range? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it, guys? Not yet. This is the kind of conditions that really test your patience as a trader, right? These conditions will test your patience. Gotta keep that patience. You cannot let this stuff manipulate you and tempt you into jumping into a trade or jumping into a bunch of trades. You know, unless you already have that conviction before the chop, or you know, you really have good conviction in a trade, still to me it's just not, it's not worth it for me to trade this stuff. We are just very range bound right now. Look at the hourly time frame again. Right, and this is that hourly that I was talking about, guys. Right, the bearish breaker, high, low, higher high, displacement of the low, the lowest down close candle. That's that breaker on the 1 hour. Right, so this is the one thing that I said could keep us down, could keep us from pumping, is that breaker. That's the one thing I've been keeping my eye on. It is important to keep our eye on just in case start to see a reaction, start to see that price is going to want to go target that external low down here. Right, that's when we're looking for shorts. Of course, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Gotta have that patience. I'm sure all the best traders in the world will tell you how important patience is. I don't think you're going to see any of the professional traders out there that are in here already taking 20, 30 trades already when we're not even an hour in the market open. No, that's not. I don't think that's what they're doing, guys. I don't think that's what they're doing. You're waiting for your A+ setups. You're only taking a few trades, calling it a day. Win or lose. That's how you create that sustainable trading strategy. Your psychology and your risk management. Exactly. Win or lose. It doesn't matter. Win or lose. I'll keep harping on this idea, but you have to have a sustainable trading strategy, guys. It has to be. You can be that person that comes in, buys a few evals, gambles them, you know, risking 100% of your account in one day, 100% of your account in one trade. And yeah, I'm sure you'll get lucky a few times. I'm sure you'll pass them. But how is that going to be sustainable over the next weeks, months, and years? It's impossible to keep that sustainability. It's not a sustainable strategy if you come into the market and you just gamble away your account. If you can come in and you can have that patience and that delayed gratitude mindset, where you're just slowly learning the skill and you're slowly getting better and better, and you're being patient, you're building the right habits even with an eval account. Man, I'm telling you, good things can happen from that. Good things can happen. It's all about delayed gratitude. If you're in here looking to make thousands of dollars right away, it will not work. It will not work. And even if it does work, you're never gonna see that consistently. Maybe you'll do it one time where you get that nice payout, few $1,000, and you're so excited, and then you realize, well, that was just luck. I didn't really have any patience. I didn't really have any strategy. I just kind of went in there and bought or sold. Just imagine waiting. Just imagine continuing this discipline and waiting. Just think of the kind of trader you're going to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year. Just think about that. There's potential to be making consistent money for the rest of your life. Exactly. Yep. It's all about the process, and the money is that byproduct of the process of the discipline. Find that process, find what works, stay disciplined to that process. Don't focus on the money. The money will come if you can keep that discipline. See if we're going to break out of this level. Okay, we closed just above VWAP here. We're getting some SMT at the highs in Q and ES. Let's see if we really want to push through. Here's the thing, guys. Let's say we do end up going and hitting my first TP or my full TP, right? Which it looks like we're trying to do. You can't be upset about that. You just got to realize that, okay, we didn't time it. We got in right when it wanted to chop. It wanted to come down and target our stop loss first. Okay, you got to live with that. You got to understand that that's going to happen. It's going to happen to the best of us. It's annoying, but it's going to happen. But if you let that just sit in your head and you keep focusing on the loss, it's not good. My weekend was great. Yeah, I had a great weekend. Spent it down in San Diego. Girlfriend flew out from Texas. It's pretty awesome. Got to do some fun things, eat some good food, spend some time at the beach. And got to see the Padres yesterday. Pretty cool. Pretty one of my ideal weekends. Yeah, yeah, the Yankees really wrecked the Padres this weekend. But at least I got to see us beat the Marlins. I was happy about that. Hey, good job, man. Have a good rest of your day. Tejas. Hey, so I mean we're slowly moving up. We did get that displacement, but it also could be that fake out manipulation move up. That's why you're just seeing me be patient here. I'm not really itching to jump in just yet. I'm not itching to jump in just yet. Oh yeah, we're seeing a lot of manipulation in our market right now. I mean, you can see so far, look at this 1 minute range. You come down, sweep sell side, come up, sweep buy side, come down, sweep sell side, come up, sweep buy side. That's why you're not seeing me jump into any trade just yet. Really being patient. All right, it's that seek and destroy type of profile on the 1 minute where we just see us manipulating. We don't want to get caught in the manipulation. We want to wait for clear expansion moves. Get involved in those expansion moves. Call it a day. Or call it a session, right? You can see ES hasn't even taken that high out the high. We've got SMT with this high up here. Right, notice this one here. NQ takes it out. That's that SMT divergence where we'd expect price to come back down. ES looks very weak right now. We're seeing that reaction back down. These shorts might start to step in. You might see the shorts try to take us all the way down to the external low. You know, a little AMD accumulation, manipulation up, distribution down. But we're still not getting good price action right now. We're still moving so slow. It's not, I mean, decent volume, not great volume right now. Yeah, guys, I mean, yeah, exactly. See, Breezy, this will tempt you so much to keep trading. This will tempt you so much. And just think about how many times you would probably get stopped out unless you're taking the perfect entries, and you're just scalping. I mean, that's a pretty hard thing to do unless you really know exactly what price is going to do. That this is going to be that seek and destroy type of profile where we're just going to sweep the low, we're going to go up, take the high, sweep the low, right? And that's even then, that's still a hard thing to scalp. And that's not the type of trades I like to take. I like to take expansion moves. I like to get involved in those because those offer the most reward, especially to our risk. These kinds of trades, you do not have great risk to reward unless you're really keeping like a 20 tick stop. And if you keep a 20 tick stop, that's how you get faked out. That's how you get stopped out. Yep, I'm starting to look for shorts at this point. After manipulating, I want to now see if price is going to come down, and we're going to target the lows down below, that external low. We'll see here. We'll see if we can come down and displace, if we're going to get real movement. And look at the 5 minute. The 5 minute looks awful. This price action is pretty bad. We are still seeing that reaction off VWAP, off of that hourly bearish breaker. We have those resistance levels up top that we're bouncing off of. But we still are in this range. We're still in this accumulation range, right in the middle of it. There's really got to be a clear setup in the shorts. I do like the shorts, down targeting that external low. That might be our silver bullet move. All right, Shasky. See you, man. Take it easy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, if you're getting that temptation to just keep jumping into trades, like I always say, sometimes it's better just to hop off. Sometimes it's better just to close that computer. All right, but if you're good and you want to sit around and you're willing to be patient, then hang out and be patient with me and wait for that setup. Right, but if you can't do that, it's sometimes it's best just to get off. Sometimes it's best just to close that computer, close out TradingView, close out your broker, and just take a break. Okay, we're starting to get that drop now. So now I'm starting to look for possible short entries to take us down to the external low. I like that we're getting that AMD. We might want to, maybe we wait for us to displace this low down here on the 1 minute. That would be ideal to wait for us to displace. I don't want to rush into a trade while we're still in that accumulation range. That's why I'm still waiting for a good setup. And if I wait for a setup, it doesn't come and we end up dropping, oh well. I'm fine with missing out on that if I don't have a good setup, especially in this type of price action. I do not care at that point. Oh yeah, tons of manipulation here. A lot of manipulation. That is a nice reaction we're seeing on that hourly time frame though, off that breaker. This is when I start to look for shorts. Let's say we start displacing these levels, we form a 1 minute order block. We can displace that 1 minute order block. We can come down and close below the low, and then we trade up into it and we see a reaction off that 1 minute. That's when I'm starting to look for entries. Or we wait for us to displace this low, and then we wait for a PD array to form and then get an entry. I really got to wait for strong confirmation, have that conviction. Again, ES is already almost at this low down here, so we might see more SMT at the lows. Just got to be very careful with this price action. We're seeing all this manipulation. A lot of manipulation here. So I'm kind of just waiting to see if we can displace this 1 minute order block. We can close below this 1 minute. we start looking at our 5 and our 15, obviously our 5 is not displaced. I'd like to see this low displaced. 5-minute bullish fair value gap if we're going to drop. If not, you're going to see me just waiting and staying out of the market. See our 15 minutes looking. 15-minute has like 4 minutes left. You can see us respecting that 50% of the hourly breaker, even on the 15-minute. We're not closing above that. Seeing those wicks up, reacting off VWAP. We're still in this range. We're still not getting out of it. So I'm still waiting to take an entry. Typically, we'd want to see, during silver bullet hour, we still haven't made a silver bullet move. We have not taken out any of our internal liquidity. It's only these highs and lows that we formed during the chop, right? We haven't taken out these highs up here, these highs up here. We haven't taken out our external liquidity down here. Chop Douglas is right. Look at us just closing, just going right back up. Nothing that I want to take right now. Still waiting. Still going to see if there's anything that we can find, but yeah, I mean, this price action is not the most fun, but it's something that we have to learn to be able to watch and sit on the sideline. So it's still very important to be able to watch this price action and, you know, not be able to not take any trades. We got some SMT at the lows again. We can see us heading right back up. Just all over the place. Right, so this is that expansion move, somewhat of an expansion move that so far, this one, those shorts that I called out, obviously didn't take them. That would have been our best setup. I mean, longs from down here, but I wouldn't have had really any entry down here that I would have wanted to take. We obviously tried to get that entry up here. Didn't end up working out. Yeah, I mean, you can do that deep. You can do that. You can definitely find good scalps in that type of price action. But again, that's not my style. That's not the way I like to trade. I like to look for good reward setups. And now we're breaking out to the upside. Now this is looking like an expansion move. All bullish candles here. Trying to displace. This is looking better. We obviously have to be careful because every time we've done this so far, we have come right back down. Yeah, well, I mean, technically it kind of is Monday today, right? It's our first actual trading day of the week. Makes sense, but we still have news. We still have news, and we still have more news. Yeah, this would be a little 1 minute breaker. This if we close above this 1 minute candle here. We could start, you know, the thing is now if we're looking for longs, got to be careful here. What our reward could be up to these highs. We could still catch a pretty good risk to reward setup. Just got to be careful of us taking out that high and then coming right back down in that seek and destroy profile, right? But right now this looks like an actual breakout. Starting to look like an actual breakout. Look at the 5 minute time frame. We got displacement on the 5 minute. Strong 5 minute candle. Let's see if we can get a reaction off of this breaker. We might be able to find a pretty good setup. Yeah. I think 2 micros is good. I think 2 micros is good. That gives you room. As long as you're doing that right risk management. Okay, this is when I'm looking for an entry off this 1 minute fair value gap here. Okay, I just got in half a lot. I got in half a lot in the longs here, guys. Half a lot off that 1 minute fair value gap, off that breaker. Long position, looking to target the highs. 18,909.75 is my entry. I'm going to keep a 50 tick stop below the breaker. I'm willing to give this one a shot. 18,897.25 will be my stop. Just half a lot right now. There's that pump. Okay, so that first TP level would probably be around, I mean, honestly, my first TP level earlier was this high that we just took out. That would have been, but obviously it's not enough reward for us. I do want to see us take out this high up top. 106 ticks at the top. That's that high I'm looking for up here. I want to see us finish out the silver bullet move and actually go sweep some liquidity. So obviously I've not added into a full yet. Let's say we get displacement of the high and we come back down into, I'm in a half position. Let's say we displace the high and we come back into this 1 minute order block. You know, I'd look to add into a full. So far, it looks like we're actually trying to break out. Let's see if we can get that breakout after sweeping some liquidity at the buy side. I want to see that continuation. Not seeing that continuation right now. Still have not added into a full. I'm still keeping half a position. I've not seen enough confirmation yet. And not really any good levels for me to add into a full just yet. We're seeing a lot of rejection off this level, a lot of stalling. Really got to push through this level and finish out that silver bullet move to end the hour. Come take out that high up top. That would be that finish off of that silver bullet move. So far, that's the entry. That's the entry I wanted right there off that 1 minute fair value gap, off that 1 minute bullish breaker. I just got to see that continuation. Actually see some follow through here. You know, look for around 106 ticks for that take profit. All right, if I can't add into a full, I can't add into a full. That's fine. You know, I'll still look to maybe sell off 25% of my position up here at the highs. If I don't add into a full, maybe just sell everything at the highs. We'll see what kind of momentum we have if we do want to make that push. So far, our trade looks really good. Remember, you always have a few options on these trades. You can always look for a 1-to-1. You know, maybe that's 50 ticks, which we're almost at already. Maybe your stop is a little bit higher. Maybe you want to hold all the way up to that TP up top. No, I'm trading minis. I will be trading micros on our prop firm session, though. Yeah, that would be a good position. That would be a good spot to add into a full. It was too late for me to add into a full. I was starting to think about it, but we bounced pretty quick, so I didn't add in. But again, off that 1 minute order block, that's always a good level. That's always a good level to add into a full position once we trade into it. 4 minis is my full lot, so I'm in 2 right now. See if we can continue that trend upwards. the next 10 minutes, go take out that high. All right, there's that 1-to-1 so far. So we just hit 51 ticks. Remember, you could have taken profit at a 1-to-1 at 50 ticks. So we've at least hit a 1-to-1. At this point, I'm going to move my stop up a little bit. I'm going to move it to 40 ticks just below VWAP at 18,899.75. Now I'm only risking 40 ticks here. Remember, you can always move your stop to break even. There's that pump. I'm going to look to hold this one all the way through and take some off at the high at 106 ticks up here. I mean, if we stall a lot, I'll probably just, maybe scale out of a contract. Again, if we get another aggressive pump, I'll just move my stop to break even, make it a risk-free trade. But I still want to give this one some room just in case we want to retrace a little bit. Get another 1-minute order block formed here. Another possible support level. We have not displaced the 1-minute order block. Right, but this is another support level here. Right, we could retrace down into that 5-minute fair value gap down below. And that's why I still want to give myself some room just in case we want to do that. Personally. But again, if you wanted to take that profit at a 1-to-1, you could do that. Move that stop to break even. I like that ES is above VWAP now, displacing the highs. Got to see that follow through now. Got you. Go make some money. If we trade back down and we start seeing a reaction, that's when I'll add into a full. Again, you can always add into a full off that 1-minute order block if you want. I do want to wait just in case we want to target that 5-minute fair value gap here. Just in case. And I'll add into a full down here in that fair value gap. But again, you can always add into a full off this 1-minute order block here. I kind of just want to wait. I'm okay. If I don't get to add into a full, I don't get to add. That's fine. I mean, so far this trade has hit 62 ticks, right? So you could have very easily taken profit off up here. Move that stop to break even. Risk-free trade, winning trade. Okay, but I do want to see this one go up and target those highs, especially if this hourly candle closes above this breaker. I think there's a lot of potential that we go up and target these highs and target that balanced price range up top on the hourly. Right, our entry is good, our stop loss is good. I'm willing to let this one ride. I'll just see if NQ wants to follow through here. See if we can get that pump. A lot of stalling, a lot of chop here. All right, understandable. We're about to close this 5-minute. We might see a 5-minute order block formed, and we might see us trade into that fair value gap below. My stop loss is currently at 18,899.75. Okay, so our 5-minute closed. Well, order block there. Let's see what we do. All right, if we trade back into this fair value gap below, we start to pump, that's when I'll add into a full. I'm not going to add into a full right here. Don't want my entry to move up too far, especially when we're chopping. I'm not going to do that. right? Because here's the thing, guys. Even if I don't add into a full, if we come up and hit that 106 ticks, if I take full TP up here, then I'll be back, I'll be back in the green on the day, right? I mean, yeah, I think I'll be close. Yeah, I'll be around break even or back in the green. Right, so I'm willing to just let it hold. I don't need to add into a full. I want to see an actual, when we see these PD arrays formed, especially on the 5 or the 15 minute, like the fair value gap, I want to wait and see if we're going to trade back into it before I add into a full position up here. That's going to move my entry way too high. And then I'm going to have my stop loss inside of that PD array. Now I'm not giving myself enough room to be able to catch that full trade. So we're obviously just chopping right now. Got to wait for that next breakout move. Wait for us to go target that external liquidity up top. We're not doing it yet. We're moving so slow right now. Gonna hold through the chop. Hold through the chop. It would be nice if we, form this accumulation. Maybe we manipulate down, grab some sell side, and then pump, and I could add into a full down here. Or if we just pump now, that would be pretty nice too. Can you do it, NQ? Can you do it? So remember, we've hit 62 ticks so far. Right now, we're still sitting around a 1-to-1, right? 50. We just hit 52 ticks again. So if you didn't take that profit the first time, you could always take profit now, right? You could always move that stop to break even. That's a nice 1 minute candle there. That's a nice pump we're seeing. See if we can see some follow through, see some displacement to the upside. The hourly candle is about to close. We're gonna see us disrespect this hourly bearish breaker, which is a good sign for these longs. There we go. We're starting to pump now. There we go. There we go. All right, you could always take first TP here at Asia high, 80 ticks. Just hit 80 ticks. So at this point, I'm just going to move my stop to break even, guys. I'm going to move my stop to break even. I'm going to make this one a risk-free trade. I'm going to make it a risk-free trade. I'm not going to let this one become a losing trade after hitting 80 ticks. I have not sold for any profit, but if you wanted to sell for profit, again, you just hit that Asia high, so you could take off some contracts. I do want to hold. Remember, we just hit that first standard deviation off that 1 minute breaker as well, lined up with that Asia high. That's a good TP level. Very good TP level. So what I'm going to do is I'm either going to sell my whole position at this high, depending on how aggressive we move. If we pump through this level super aggressively, I might hold on to it, maybe sell off one contract, hold on to another one. But if we just kind of come up and we see that it's going to be a liquidity sweep, then I'll probably just sell my whole position. There's a likelihood this could just be a liquidity sweep up top, grabbing that high, coming into a BPR. You might see us come back down. One minute fair value gap formed here. We're seeing a bounce off that gap. We're seeing a bounce off that 1 minute fair value gap. We're about to close this hourly. See what this hourly does. We might see a little bit of manipulation at the start of the hour. Again, it's a risk-free trade at this point. Not worried. Stop is at break even. Willing to see where this one goes. See if we can get that reaction off this 1 minute here. Look how our hourly completely displaced that breaker block. Let's look at what the VIX is doing. VIX is still dropping right now. DXY is dropping. That's a good sign. Just hope we don't want to manipulate all the way back down and stop me out. If we do, I would still look for a re-entry back in that 5 minute. Look, we formed this 5 minute order block here. We displaced the order block. We need to see this act as support. And if we do come back down and stop me out, right, then I'm looking for a re-entry down here. Okay, but I'm not gonna let a trade that's 80 ticks in profit stop me out for a loss. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'd rather just have a stop even or a break even stop. All right, right now we're seeing that move back down. We might see us target that 5 minute fair value gap, target that 1 minute breaker again. The possibility. All right, but in no way this should not be a losing trade for anybody. All right, you either should have taken profit already and have that stop at break even, or you should at least probably have that stop at break even at this point. Unless you, I mean, if you really want to hold this, you can. Okay, but I would just look for a re-entry at this point. Okay, so it stopped me. Now I'm going to start looking for a re-entry. I don't like that structure though. Let's see. Yeah, we touched into that 5 minute. We start seeing a reaction back up. I'll start looking for a re-entry. But again, we are forming a little bit of a reversal pattern here on the 1 minute time frame. How we reacted off that Asia high. Back in that 1 minute breaker. As long as we can respect this 1 minute breaker, 5 minute fair value gap, I think longs will still step back in. See what happens here. Looking for a re-entry in the longs. Looking for a re-entry. Okay, I just added back in half a lot into the longs. I just added back in. I'm liking the reaction off that 5 minute fair value gap off the 1 minute breaker. Just added back in. Oops. Let's see where my entry is. 18,908.75. Now we got to see us really push through. I'm gonna keep a 40 tick stop down below 18,898.75. So just half a lot so far. Again, just in half a lot so far. We're gonna have to push through. I don't love the pattern that we're forming here, but I do like the 5 minute. I like that we're at VWAP. I like that we have the 5 minute fair value gap, 15 minute fair value gap, 1 minute bullish breaker. A lot of support here. Just in half a lot. I'm not ready to add into a full. That's the one thing I don't love is that we look a little bit like a reversal pattern on the 1 minute here. But I do love that we displaced the 1 hour bearish breaker. And we really got to see a reaction off this level. VWAP's got to hold strong for us here. Starting to push. Yeah, I just added into a full there, guys. I just added into a full. It's a little bit riskier here, but I'm liking that reaction we're seeing off the breaker, off the 5 minute. So I added into a full. Entry moved up a little bit. Where did it move up to? To 09. 50. I'll move my stop up a little bit. Keep it up 40 ticks. 899.50. 899.50. Now let's see if we can get that follow through. I'm liking that we're at VWAP. We're respecting our breaker. Jeez. Jeez, guys. This is ridiculous here. Oh man. Okay, so I just got stopped. I really liked that reaction off the 5-minute, and then we just came right back down, swept that low. Okay, so I got stopped there by 1 tick, just on the dot. On the dot there. I still want to see these longs step in, ultimately. Just seeing a lot of manipulation right now. A lot of manipulation. Let's see what happens in this 5-minute. I mean, we're still respecting the 1-minute bullish breaker. 5-minute imbalance, 15-minute imbalance. But got to see some nice confirmation now. We're just kind of chopping on that 1-minute time frame, you can see. Let's see what NQ wants to do. I really want to see NQ target that high. We're obviously seeing that strong reaction off. We saw that reaction off Asia high up top. Let's see what we do here. They'll just chop in. And that candle aggressively came down and stopped us out there. Literally by the tick right there, by the tick. Let's see here. 5-minute is kind of just in between. We can see on the 1-minute time frame that we're just chopping, we're consolidating, but we're still respecting that 5-minute. Nice bounce off the 15-minute. Don't want to see these longs come in. I have not gotten a re-entry just because we are chopping. These longs still look good to me. Yeah, some people might still be in. See what happens here. I mean, I'm still liking our reaction. Still liking our reaction, but we're just chopping too much right now for me to want to get re-entry. I don't like that reversal pattern on the 1-minute. And we're obviously still respecting these support levels. Just don't like this chop right now. Don't like the chop. Yeah, fair value gap here on the 5. As long as we can keep respecting these bullish imbalances, we'll be all right. I'm not liking the chop. No, we're not in a trade right now, guys. I'm not gonna trade in this chop here. I'm just waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting for us to break out of this. I'm not going to take a trade while we're in this stuff. All right, I know we're still, we're still respecting these bullish levels. Like that's a nice formation on the 5-minute for the longs. Right, but you're not going to see me jump into another entry while we're chopping. Right, I'm not gonna let FOMO get to me. I'm not gonna just jump right back into an entry until I see us get out of the chop. All right, if you're still holding this position, you might have had a lower stop loss than me. You're still good. Obviously, I wish, in hindsight, maybe 45 ticks would have been good, but that's hindsight 2020. Yeah, I wanted to risk 40 ticks on there. I wanted to keep it below the breaker. We ended up coming and stopped me out. It happens. It happens. See if we can break through those highs now. We do have a 1-minute bearish breaker here. Slowest down close candle here. We're going to push through. If we push through, yeah, longs will keep stepping in, and I think, yeah, they'll come target that high up top. Let's look at the hourly candle. That's a nice wick on the hourly candle so far. Nice 5 and 15-minute candle reaction off the 5 and 15-minute bullish imbalances. Yeah, I got stopped out by the tick there. It literally came down right to 40 ticks. 1 tick below. It happens. Right now we can start looking for those little 1-minute fair value gaps again. All right, like the 1-minute here. And you can still target, 68 ticks for that first TP, 94 ticks for that TP up top. So you can still have good risk to reward. Keep your stop around 40, 45, 50 ticks beneath the bullish breaker. So that 1-minute here could still be a solid entry in the longs, especially after displacing the high here. Seeing the 5, the 15, the 1 hour, still giving me that conviction in the longs. We're seeing a lot of manipulation so far in our market. Got to get a really good entry. Got to get a very good entry. Let's see if we want to retrace into that 1-minute. I'm not going to jump into a trade if we're really dropping, but if we see a nice reaction off that 1-minute, that's when I'll start looking for longs again. Got to see a nice reaction off this level first. Nice close on the 5-minute. Let's see, looking for a reaction, Waiting for a reaction, and not going to jump into an entry unless I see a real good bounce. Yeah, I just got in half a lot in the longs there off that 1-minute fair value gap. I like the reaction off the breaker. As long as we can use this breaker as support, this will be my last trade here. Probably no matter what. Let's see. So my entry is at 18,911.25. So good entry there. And keep my stop below the 1 minute breaker. Keep it at 45 ticks here, 18,899.75. Yeah, this will be my last trade here. Just want to see that move finally play out here and take out those longs, take out that buy side liquidity. Use that 1 minute here as 1 minute fair value gap as support, 1 minute bullish breaker as support. You see the reaction off the 5 minute fair value gap, off the 15-minute fair value gap here, 1 hour. We're just seeing so much manipulation right now. All right, this will be my last trade, win or lose. Man, yeah, I'm getting manipulated right now. See, we got to use this 1 minute as support still. Close below the fair value gap. I don't love that. Oops. Still in half a lot here. I'll let you know if I add into a full. I'm still in half. We're just below break even right now. I'm not going to add into a full and get manipulated back down into a stop loss like before. Really got to see confirmation to add into a full. Look at the 5. 5 minute again is getting a great reaction off that imbalance below. Same thing on the 15 minute. Just got to see us actually follow through here. Got to see some follow through. I'm starting to think about adding into a full here. I haven't added yet just because of this up and down movement. Yeah, my conviction is still there. My conviction is still there in the longs. I still want to see these longs step in. No, I don't use RSI. And we just can't seem to get an expansion move here. And like I said, this will be my last trade. I like where my stop loss is at. We're giving ourselves room. Just can we time this one right here? Can this be that breakout move? I think it has a lot of potential to be that breakout move. Okay, I'm going to add into a full. I just added into a full there. Just add into a full. Move my entry up to 13. Move my entry up to 13. I'll move my stop up. Keep it at 45 ticks at the bottom of the breaker, 18,901.75. I am in a full now. See if we can get that breakout move. Structure's starting to look nice. Probably look to take TP off at the high up top, around 67 ticks, up at the Asia high, and then hold through up to this high. Okay, so my first TP will be up at 18, probably just Asia high, 18,929.25. The first TP for me, 65 ticks, 66 ticks, or no, yeah, 65. See if we can get that follow through here. Again, 15, 5 minute, 1 hour are all looking great. I have a lot of conviction here. Just see if NQ will finally want to follow through, push us up to that liquidity level. Remember, full position, 45 tick stop. We keep respecting our bullish breaker, our bullish PD arrays. I just got to see that breakout now. All right, today's been a hard one to get the timing right. Today has been a hard one to get the timing right. I'm feeling a lot of conviction here. We just got to see ES try to push through those, push through VWAP, push through those highs. ES looks very bullish as well. The VIX is still heading down. All right, so my confluences are there. And we just gotta see, is NQ actually gonna respect our technical analysis? But again, I'm not gonna look to hold all the way to the top for first TP. I'm gonna take first TP at Asia high, so at 18,929.25. That's where I'm gonna take my first TP. I'm not gonna, on this trade, I'm not gonna be too greedy. I'm gonna take my profit when it's there. But I'll still look to hold and then possibly take full TP at the high up here around 93 ticks, or let it keep going, depending on how much aggression, how much momentum we're moving with. We're obviously seeing us just stall at this level again after sweeping this internal buy side. Gotta catch that breakout. You the best. Yeah, that makes sense. Right at VWAP. Gotta really push through that level. Let's break out. Guys, I have my limit order for half my position set at Asia high at 18,929.25. Five minutes looking good. 15 minutes still looks great. 1 minute still looks great. We've hit 41 ticks so far. All right. Just about a 1-to-1. Just about a 1-to-1. Yeah, I'm going to sell half at Asia high just because that was a strong resistance level before. We see that high formed up here. I'm going to take profit when it's there. Again, you could take a 1-to-1 here, guys. We're above a 1-to-1 now. We are above a 1-to-1, so you could take off some profit here. We just hit 48 ticks. Remember, you don't have to hold like me. We are almost to our first TP. All right, let's see if we can make it there. We can see if we can make it there. Obviously, like I said, take that TP if you don't want to keep holding. 51 ticks of hit. I want to hold through. I really have conviction that this one's going to push through that high. Now we're going to go target that liquidity up top, touch into that BPR. Stop loss is still at 40 ticks right now, or 45. I'm going to move it up now. I'm going to move it up a little bit. I just moved it up to 904.25. Okay, so now it's 35 ticks. 35 ticks. We do have London close in 5 minutes. Again, guys, we're awfully close to that level. You don't have to hold for TP. You can always take your TP. We did hit 58 ticks. And we make that last little pump here. Last little pump and actually target those highs. One minute fair value gap formed below. Let's see if we can get a bounce off that level. Get that continuation. Alright, I'll probably just sell everything at this high most likely. Just because if we look at the 1 hour, it's a very strong balance price range up there. We'll see. I might try to hold through. Again, you can move that stop to break even if you want. Yeah, I mean, 15-minute displacement would be very nice. If we see a 15-minute close above, I'd be more willing to hold this trade through those highs. See if we can bounce off that 1 minute fair value gap. Got you, Diego. Yeah, I'm sure a good amount of you have still been in this trade from the original entry. I mean, we only came down, we barely stopped me out. 41 ticks. I'm sure a lot of you are still in this if you had a 45, 50 tick stop. Maybe a better entry than me. You might still be holding that original trade. All right, we're almost to our London close. Remember, around London close, we typically will see some kind of reversal, but I would want to see us take out that liquidity first before we see that reversal. Just because we have really not targeted any major liquidity levels just yet. I would like to see us target that high before we see a reversal in the market. If we do see a reversal, right, it would be around this time, maybe within the next 30 minutes to the next hour. Still holding this one. See if we can pump through. And if we stall again, I'll just take profit and move my stop to break even. If we start to stall again. 1 minute candle is looking pretty nice. Let's see if we can push through. See if we can push through to our first TP here. Man, I mean, I might even just sell half my position here, guys. Yeah, I just sold half. I don't like the stalling. I'm just going to sell half and moving my stop to break even. I'm going to make sure this is a winning trade here. Winning trade. It's still above a 1-to-1 for a risk to reward, so I'm good with that. All right, so just took profit off at 53 ticks. So it's still above a 1-to-1. With all the stalling, I'm down to just take that profit and now hold the rest of this trade up to these highs. All right, for 93 ticks. Up to 18,396.25. Or 18,936.25, sorry. All right, so winning trade here. Made back some of our losses so far. Let's see if we can get to that full TP and maybe even pump through and maybe continue to hold. Okay, 15-minute just closed. That's a strong 15-minute candle. I'm liking that 15-minute. 30-minute looks great. 5-minute looks great. We did just sweep that liquidity, so we got to be careful now. We just swept that high. My stop's at break even. It's a risk-free trade. I'm willing to let this one go. If it stops me at break even, it stops me. Oh well. This is one of those trades that I want to see play out. Already a winning trade. We obviously did just get that liquidity sweep, so if you want to scale out completely, you can. ES is still struggling to push through VWAP, push through that 2.5 level. I still have that conviction that we're going to still try to go target that 1 hour high up top. See if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. 18,93625. We're almost there. You can also move your stop into profit at this point if you'd like. There we go. Oh, we almost hit that level. We didn't break through it. We almost hit it. I'm gonna move my stop a few ticks into profit here. I'm just gonna move it just to catch to cover our costs. All right, so I just moved it up to this low down here at 19 or 916.50. Where my stop's at now. Just a few ticks into profit. See if we can make that push through. Like I said, if we move through really aggressively, I might just hold. I might sell everything. Okay. I just sold everything there. I'm out. I'm out, guys. Sold everything. Sold everything. I'm out of this trade. Could see a reversal at this point. We could see a reversal here, taking out that high, that hourly. This is that point we could see a reversal, balance price range above. We're seeing that instant move back down after sweeping that liquidity. I'm not going to hold that, so I just took profit up here at the top, around 93 ticks, so I'll take that win there. I'll take that win. It'd come back win. Still in the red on the day, but, you know, not as bad as it was before. That's a very good trade there for us. Yeah, not very far into the red at all. Yeah, nice trade there. I'm very happy with that setup. I'm very happy we finally got that timing right. Took us a while to get that timing, but we finally did. Our conviction was there the whole time. Right? I believed in these longs the whole time. We just didn't get the timing the first few trades. That one paid off. Our patience definitely paid off there. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still red, but a lot better than it was before. We did not revenge trade. We waited for a good setup. Waited for a reaction off our levels. We're chilling. So pretty good there. Pretty good. We'll see if we're going to get this reversal in the market. You might see a pretty strong reversal here. There we go, deep. There we go, Anko, Tony, killing it. Killing it, that's what I like to see. Right? Patience pays off for us when we can sit here. Yeah, we took a few losses. We took a break even. But once we wait for that real, you know, that next setup to form, keep our risk management good, you know, it pays off. It does pay off. Okay. Today was all about timing. It was all about timing. We had our conviction the whole time. Just did not get our timing right until that last one. And we timed it perfectly on that one. Okay, but the reason, like I said, guys, the reason I got out completely is because I've been talking about this level the whole day. That liquidity up top, buy side, hourly BPR above. It's London close. We always, not always, but we typically see reversal around this time. You can see that reaction we got right after. Pretty sure we saw some SMT divergence as well. Look over here at ES. Yeah, we saw SMT divergence with this high. Right, so a lot of reversal indicators here. A lot of reversal indicators. So at this point, I'll probably be waiting to take any other trades. If I am going to take another trade, I don't know if I will. Like I said, I'm kind of willing. I'm willing to end the day in the red, guys. I mean, I'll still, it's not like I need to end the day in the green. If I do see another setup, as long as the risk management is there, I'll still look for a setup. But again, I'm not going to overtrade. It's got to be a really A+ setup. We do have the external lows down here. we might see price target, especially on such a ranging day, up and down after sweeping liquidity. We might see price drop and try to target those lows. We will see what happens here. We will see. All right, it looks like a reversal pattern up top. All right, we sweep the high, break structure on the 1 minute. And we still have those support levels down below. We're still bullish on the day. So, in terms of shorting, kind of got to be careful. Even if you do think those shorts are going to come in, we still could see price take off to the upside. Even though we did grab that liquidity, still got to be careful here. And that's why I'm not going to be rushing to get into another trade. We already hit that buy side target. That's the target we were talking about this whole morning. Once we take that target out, I'm kind of waiting now. Maybe even for afternoon session to take more trades. We'll see. The 1 minute breaker. I think we're still respecting it on the 1 minute because it's that lowest down close candle right here. We're still respecting it right now. That high, low, higher, high displacement of the low. So we do have a 1 minute bearish breaker. We'll see if we continue to respect that bearish breaker. And if we continue to displace lows, that's when I would start looking for shorts. But again, not looking to rush into any shorts. But in terms of our confluence, you always hear me talk about time and price, right? We have time, London close, indicates a reversal a lot of the time. We take out a key buy side liquidity level. We bounce off of a balanced price range on the higher time frame. Typically, we're going to see, with all those confluences, we will typically see some kind of reversal, at least, going into lunch. All right, so, I would look for shorts, but I'm not going to just rush into the shorts just to jump into a trade. They are looking pretty nice. Looking like they're trying to step in. We'll see. Still got a lot of these support levels below. Strong SMT divergence at the highs. Strong liquidity grab. We can see on the 15 minute, on the 5 minute, on the hourly. Looks like a true liquidity grab there. Looks like we're really trying to reverse. Looks like these shorts are trying to step in. So I might start looking for shorts, honestly, just to hold through lunch. We could have a pretty good stop loss, like 30 ticks, 35 ticks. Maybe just hold them through lunch all the way back down to the lows. Maybe just go in. I'll probably just go in a lighter position. Probably go in a lighter position and just hold them. See what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, let's see if we respect this 1 minute bearish breaker. Or if we're going to push right back through it, back to the highs. I have not gotten any entries. I'm not looking to rush. Just looking to see if we are going to get a nice setup. Like we're trying to disrespect that 1 minute bearish breaker here. See how we close. Okay, 1 minute closed. Yeah, I mean, we displaced the breaker on the 1 minute. Five minutes still looking kind of bullish here. Yeah, I mean, not looking to just jump into a trade. Need to see some strong confluence. Need to see some strong. Need to get some strong conviction if I was going to try to reverse this position. I mean, there is some confluence in this trade already. Let's see what the VIX and DXY are doing. VIX is still kind of bearish right now. DXY is still bearish. I would want to see them start heading up. I really want to see them start heading up for us to feel more confident in the shorts. That 1 hour though. That 1 hour. I mean, so far, no matter what, that TP for us was perfect, right? That's what I was talking about. I said if we push through crazy, I'll look to hold it. But if we just come up and we wick back down, I'm going to sell everything right away. That's what we did. We ended up selling up at the top right when we wicked back down. Ended up being the perfect sell for us. Yeah, I mean, that 5 minute still looks very bullish. 15-minute closes in a few minutes. We'll see how that closes. Okay, I mean, yeah, this is one of those times I'm probably going to wait to take any more trades. I'll probably hop off here, probably wait, and I'll still look at the market. I'll still be looking for some setups. Again, I'm completely fine with ending the day red, guys. I don't care about ending the day red. I obviously want to end the day green every day. But if there's no conviction, there's no setup where I can have really good risk management, you're not going to see me jumping into a trade. So I'm going to hop off here. I'll still look for some setups, and I'll let you guys know if I do take anything. I'll call it out. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna call it a session. Let's take a little break. We'll take a little break. We'll come back. What day? It's Tuesday today, so we do have our education today at 9:30. So we'll come back for education in about 50 or like 45 minutes. All right. If you don't hear from me before then, I'll see you in about 45 minutes. Take it easy. Take care of those accounts. All right, and we'll be back soon. Peace.